What's going on, everybody? Justin Morgan, founder of AutomationMastery.net, here to help you automate your business, master your destiny, and maximize your impact. I'm going to talk about the 5 things that you should do that you aren't doing, that most businesses, most entrepreneurs aren't doing before you spend all your time, your effort, and your money on building a website. Now, these things are important for me to highlight because, again, I've gone to many events. Folks that don't know me, spent plenty of time. My first job out of college was in tech support, and it was just really taking a bunch of calls from mortgage professionals on how to use a website. So I got very good at how to navigate people through online experiences right out the gate. From there, while working full-time, got involved with a company that works and serves with entrepreneurs. They serve a lot of speakers, coaches, trainers, authors, etc. Right, and so I got involved with the tech side of things, training and implementing the tech guy. So I was the tech guy. I was a lot of times behind the scenes, and I wasn't in the spotlight. Right, so that wasn't me. It wasn't that guy. Right, so I got to be, the guy in the t-shirt and looking all scruffy like I am right now. I stay true to who I am, okay? And then growing, right, so now I've still been that guy, scraggly, wearing my t-shirt. Like, that's me. I'm embracing that a little bit more these days. And I've been growing my own thing now. I've been growing Automation Mastery, and I get a chance to work with people. I'm the tech guy you wish you had. So, we have a tech team. And so we set up and implement websites, funnels, sequences, all that fun stuff, right? All that fun stuff. And what I saw really, as I looked back earlier, right, in my career, so to speak, and when I was implementing all these systems and working for this guy, just working with this company, it was just it really was a shot in the face to the norm, right? So when people really thought about business, when you really start out, you think about business, there was this original idea that it was similar to the white picket fence here in America in terms of the American dream, right? So when you thought about the American dream, it was you get a white picket fence, right? You got a lawn, a spouse, a couple kids, and a porch. You can sit out there on your swinging bench and sip some tea and enjoy the great weather. And that was it. Life was good. Like, you could do anything. Your life was great. Bills are taken care of. That was it. It was the same thing in business, right? In business, if you had a website, which was the original promise, you were in business. And ultimately, if you built it, then there was a possibility everybody would come, right? And that's not the case. Just like the American dream, the typical American dream has faded, right? So has this idea that just having a website is the end. And so right now, when I'm bringing on clients, right? When I'm bringing on clients, I see them put a lot of emphasis on a website, and I have no problem building websites for people, and we do it. It's part of the business. Like, it's stuff that needs to be done. But ultimately, what I really like to see first is a focus on these 5 things. Now, these 5 things aren't like, hey, you're gonna make $6 million next year. Like, that's not me. Like, that's not a promise I give with what I do, right? I promise to save you time, energy, effort, and create something that gives you the potential to create that 6-figure, 7-figure business that you want, because I've seen other clients do it, right? Because I've been a part of the process of setting up those systems for other people. So I know what it takes, right? So I know the things that need to be in place. Now, I'm not going to promise you're going to be on the beach sipping any Mai Tais or have you drive a Lamborghini tomorrow. Like, that's not what this is. You get enough of that in all the other webinars and Facebook ads and all the other videos and conferences. I get it, right? Those things happen all the time. Now, what I want to share with you are these 5 principles that I know if you are doing wrong, like I've done it wrong, I've seen other clients do it wrong, and if you are doing wrong, then you're ultimately going to waste time, money, energy, and effort. Okay? And the first one, so again, these things you should be doing before you do a website. Because I see too many people wasting the time, the money, and the energy on the website. You do all this work to make your website all nice. You pay all these people to make your website look great and function well. But at the end of the day, it doesn't do anything for your business. Nothing. Not enough. Doesn't make you $1. Okay? Why do I know this? Because I made this same mistake. I had a speaking event, big event, right? My big first event. before the event, I hadn't finished my website to where I wanted it to be. So I went and spent all this time first, right? So this is before I know all the things I know now tech-wise, right? I spent all this time and energy trying to get a website together. And then when I couldn't figure it out, I hired somebody. I spent all the time and money on them to figure it out, right? And it still didn't work after that. Like, that was the worst part. It just did not work even at that point. So after that, like, I ended up spent all that time, all that money, and all that energy, got to the event, made no money made, no money invested in my business, like none. Because I didn't really understand these 5 key things. Now, these aren't like, again, crazy tips, but these are things that you should do first. Okay, do first. Now, tip number 1, things you should do, number 1, is the first thing you should do is find the right niche. The first thing you must do is find the right niche. Now, why is this important, right? So why am I stressing this part of it? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who we are and how great our product is. If we don't have a way, right? If we can't actually give our service to the right people, if I'm trying to sell ice to Eskimos, then I've set my business up for failure. And so I've seen too many clients, right? There's one guy, and I realize, I don't say names because I don't want to expose anybody. See, one guy who's pitching this service that is, the market is very small. Like, the market is extremely small. The market is pretty morbid, right? Look at this. It's not a happy topic, right? It's not even, when I think about it, the need isn't immediate. Like, you have to do a lot of educating to even really get people to understand there's a need to purchase. Okay, so it's not the best niche for somebody to be in. So that's number 1, right? You have to understand and pick the right niche in the first place in order to have a chance for this thing to work. Just think about it that way, right? Think about it that way. Number 2, you should be focusing on, once you have the right niche, you should be focusing on creating the right offer, right? Now, what is an offer? That means when I'm trying to sell you something, like, what do you get? That seems very straightforward. Just understand this. Everybody wants to sell something, right? And so if me, Justin Morgan, I have my business, and then say Bob Johnson somewhere has his business, and we both do the same thing, what differentiates what I do from what he does? And oftentimes the best way to do that is to create a better offer, right? An offer that solves more problems. Okay, so if his service is, hey, get a website, and my service is, hey, get a website, get maintenance, you also get this free tool on how to, how you can market your business, also throw in this freebie as well and consult you in this way, then obviously my offer sets myself apart. And so you kind of have to look at your business and see how can you set yourself apart with that offer. Now, why is this important before you do a website? Because you can spend a lot of time, money on the website and then find out your offers are bad or your niche is bad, and then you have to redo the website. Again, wasting time, money, energy, and effort. Okay. The third thing that you need to be doing and working on is having the right messaging. Now, it's one thing to find the right niche. It's one thing to find the right offer. Now, how do you communicate those things, right? There's a guy named Andy Henriquez, amazing speaker. He focuses on just teaching stories. Like, his whole thing, his whole platform is on how to tell you how to tell better stories. And he's making a full living at this thing. And he's just so great. What I admire about him most is his stories tend to just hammer home the point that he needs. And the messaging and the wording is so powerful, right? He truly mastered the power of a message. And so for many of us, right, we may be trying to sell something to the right people, but telling them the wrong story to connect with them, right? Again, I have a challenge. So my niche is mainly, right now, so if you want to know my niche, it's usually African Americans, usually older, right? A little bit older because, techie. And then usually when I look at the demographics, it's usually, about 35, 40% men, 60%, 65% women, right? And so I sometimes have to dial back my need to want to talk football and sports because not everybody identifies with football and sports, right? Now, those are where most of my good stories come from, but I kind of have to stay away from some of those things because ultimately it's not what it really connects when it talks about hammering home with you as my potential client, right? And so that's just how the numbers stack, right? There's no, like, I didn't pick that demographic, right? I did my research. I put content out there so that it interact with my market. And those are the people that have landed here. So if you are fitting that demographic, like you're looking at me as like, Justin, I'm in that demographic. Well, that's how the cookie crumbled. But now I have to adjust my story to fit and contact and really interact with you in a better way. Okay, I've tested, again, I've done some other tests, ad-wise, messaging-wise, that prove this theory, like straight out prove this theory. You must perfect your messaging. Do this first. Why? Because then it changes what copy you use on your website. It changes the big headline you use on your website. It changes the wording and how you tell stories on your website. So once you start testing, right, start testing your stories and the things that you're doing, ultimately makes you build a better website. So just understand, it makes you build a better website. Number 4, you should spend any time capturing information. Now, that means you should have a system in place to get people's email, number, name, all that stuff, right? Some type of CRM, a MailChimp, GetWeber, Aweber, GetResponse, ActiveCampaign, and then link those things to like a simple landing page. I can't tell you how much more powerful it is and time saving it is for you just to have a simple landing page that tells a great story, that offers something for free, that captures information. It just sets up your business for success. The power of having a list is amazing, right? Because no matter what websites you have, if you have a list of people you can send an email to, you can sell them something at all times of the day, you've set yourself up for success, right? You've set yourself up for success. Your list is more important than your website when you're starting out, because ultimately you want, right? You're going to want to be launching and experimenting and changing things up. And so the better and easier you can communicate with people who already know, like, and are somewhat interested in you, right? It gives you a better chance of being able to move those things, have those events, sell those products, host those conferences, etc., 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 right? So these are important things to consider. You should really do this before you go out there and you start to build your website. And then lastly, sell. The first thing you should be focused on is selling something, right? At the same event that I failed at, I made a purchase that was a 4-figure purchase. It was expensive for me at the time. It was about $1,500 to $2,000, right? Expensive for me at the time. Now, they had a system in place to sell me that thing. Guess what? There was no website involved. Like at any point in the time, there was no website involved in that process, right? They had a system in place that sold me without having a website, which was vital for their own success. Now, I want to tell you is just understand it's important, right? It's important. It's key. It's vital that you have a mechanism in place to sell, right? Why is this important before you have a website? One, you have money to then go hire somebody to build a proper website for you, save yourself some time. And then 2, you know what product to put on the site, right? So again, if you've been selling something and it's selling well, then you know that it should be the focus of your website. But yet, if it's kind of not selling well, then you should probably think about either ditching it or maybe it goes into some miscellaneous spot on the website, right? These are things are important because ultimately these 5 principles allow you to build a business. The website isn't what builds the business by itself, right? It's like, Justin, I want people to find me. Then, well, create a little 1-page thing that has, again, your free offer, right? And your free offer to collect information. Then you can send them an email with your bio, like whatever that is. You're going to put your bio on the page, make it really short. But ultimately, if you're creating content, telling good stories, connecting with people, right, giving them value, all outside of doing a website, people tend to get to know, like, and trust you anyway. Most of my clients that I have right now, they aren't because they saw some website online. because they interacted with me. I did something for them. I gave them value, and they understood what I could offer. Think about it that way. So that's a little shift I want to give you. Now, what do you do with this? Now, what do you do with this information? Because ultimately, I need you to go out there and act on it. He's like, Justin, this is a lot of stuff. Now, what if I told you that I wanted to make things simple? Now, I was at a conference, and there were people that were teaching things, right? It's funny. It was one of the last conferences I spoke at. Somebody went up ahead of me and pretty much taught what I was going to teach. And so I was sweating a little bit. Right? I was sweating a little bit. And at the end of the day, when they were done and I was getting ready to go and I did my thing, and I think I went to the bathroom and I was speaking with one of the guys there. And he said, Justin, one of the things that I loved about your presentation was that you just made things simple. Like, it wasn't this big extravagant, like, it made it simple. And this is reminding me the power of simplicity. And so I know I just gave you 5 steps, and it seems like that may be a lot, but I wanted to make it simple, right? And so what I've done is I created something in a way that you can get those things in place that makes it simple, affordable, and actionable now, right? Like, so you can get some stuff done soon. What I'm doing is actually hosting an event, an experience in April. It's called the Automation Mastery Live Experience. I'm proud of it because this is not your come up and everybody's going to pitch you $9.97 products the entire time. Like, no, you pay up front, you show up, and we're going to actually teach and train you and implement things right there on site. So you're going to learn and do for 3 days and actually get these things I've just talked about right now in place. That way you can go and actually do them, right? So it starts April 2nd. After April the 4th, you can go out and do your thing. Okay, so if you want to learn more about this event, go ahead over to amxlive.com. It's not cheap, right? It's not cheap. You do get a number. You get the chance to create a lead page, a presentation page, sales page. You get to set up your CRM, set up email sequences. Okay, we're going to teach you how to put together videos for your page. You're going to actually go out and shoot some videos while you are there, right? I have some tasks for you as you're there. There's some work you'll be doing beforehand to make sure your offers and everything is good. And after the fact, right, you get a couple memberships. You get my Tech Labs membership where you get access to me, right? So I'm there to support you. For folks who do this now, like more recently, some of these bonuses will go away. I'm doing a 6-week assurance program after the fact. So many of you go to events, and then once you're done with the event, that's it. What I will be doing with this is after you leave the event, actually be here to support you for live calls for 6 weeks after to try to get you to your first win using your system. And for folks who were still needing to clean some things up, I'll be there to help and push you through that process as well. So all these things, you're pretty much going to be leaving with a full funnel done. If you come to me and you want me to do something like this for you, it's easily upwards of $3,000 to $5,000. We'll be only doing at the event for not even close to that price. So if you want to see what the recent price is, again, it's not cheap, but it's definitely affordable. If you want to see what the recent price is, make sure you go to amxlive.com. That will change, may go up over time, so make sure you check that out. I am only doing 50 people at this session. If I get more than 50 people, if I get interest from more than 50 people, I will be considering doing another one maybe later in the year. But for right now, if you want to be up and gunning in spring, this is the one you're going to want to be at because it's the only one that's guaranteed at this price. All right, I'm Justin Morgan, founder of AutomationMastery.net. Go ahead over to amxlive.com. I'll see you there. And as usual, treat each day as a building block to a better future. Peace.